Your life, visit equityhealthcares.com.
Harrison's is the home of Work, Western, and Wow! We're the Southeast leader in Carhartt, and nobody has more in-stock work boots. The store is filled with Harriet, Cinch, Wrangler, and more. Get great clothing and footwear for the whole family at Harrison's. Find us on Norman Station Boulevard in Mooresville.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Community Centered, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Happy wet and raining Tuesday, my friend Margi. How are you?
I think I'm getting better.
Oh, thank God. In this weather, I hope you can hold on to that.
I do too. It took 4 weeks.
Wow.
And yesterday I thought, I'm just going to stay low. And because I've been busy.
Yeah. That was
watching
probably the cure.
news.
Yeah. That cured you.
And all they talked about was the cold weather coming and the flu.
Yeah.
And I thought, I should have gone out and enjoyed the day.
Absolutely. You know, this is rainy, miserable, in the 30s. It might as well be snow, right? And we should all be home.
Prettier.
Well, yeah, and we should all be home in front of a fireplace, all snuggled up and warm. But so I hope our listeners are finding a way to stay warm today and dry and not be out driving in all this miserableness. Tonight, we are bringing a new family into Hope House, a mom with her 3 children who have been living in their car for the past 6 months. And the baby's 7 months old. So when I see and feel these cold and wet, rainy nights, I'm like, oh, one less night she doesn't have to stay.
Did you get an email from a gal who was on our show that has all sorts of clothes and furniture?
Yes, I did. Yes, thank you so much for that. But I am very excited to welcome her home tonight. And you know, when we bring them home, it's like, would you like a hot shower, or would you like bed, or would you like a warm meal? And it's kind of exciting to think about.
They want it all.
Yes, absolutely. the young girl, the middle child, is 13, very tall. And I said to her, "How is it sleeping in your car?" And she said, "Not very comfortable at all, because I don't know where to put my legs." So I think tonight they'll be stretched out in a warm, soft bed. And so
thank you for all you do.
I'm excited about that for them. I think it's
and those toys were amazing you gave me last week.
You are more than welcome, Miss Margi. I love to share the blessings whenever we get them, for sure. But so what else is going on in your life now that you're
we are
cured?
Unity.
Yes.
In our community.
Yes, we are. We are unified, and we are community for sure. I think that the work that you do, I always want to make sure that our listeners know what Little Smiles does, because you and our guest today will exemplify that, because I'm sure you've been partners for a long time. But
about 15 years.
I think that's incredible. And I think about all, like me, welcoming home a family tonight.
I think that's wonderful.
I think nothing of it, but I think of the hundreds of smiles that you've put on little people's faces. I sleep better at night knowing that I have friends like you that are doing the kind of work that you're doing, and knowing that I do what I do, and knowing that the guest that we have today does what she does. So I'm grateful to be here among 2 powerhouse women that are doing wonderful things and putting hope back in the headlines.
That's right.
I think
with a smile.
Absolutely. And, I don't think people realize how much of a challenge that can be on some days. So I hope that our listeners today will be blessed by our interview.
But as we both have said before, when you're down, when I'm down, and you go and help somebody, it just makes all the difference in the world.
It sure does. Well, last week we had plenty of phone calls. So I want to open the lines up again at 844-STUDIO-4 to call in should you have a question for Margi, myself, or our guest. I think once you get to know her and you realize the work that she's doing in our community, you might have a lot of questions too. So we're going to leave those lines open. I know Reese and Bill are in the studio engineering and waiting for those calls. So we'll be happy to. I want to wish a very happy birthday to my little mama. Today is her birthday. We have plans to take her out to dinner after the show early. We do the early bird, right? My husband calls it the blue hair special. But you know what? You got to get her back before a certain time. So we're excited about doing that. But I just wish it wasn't pouring rain.
I know.
It kind of makes it a little bit miserable.
She's such a lovely lady.
87 years young today.
Good for her.
I woke up this morning to her door of her apartment all decorated and all excited, and she's got a little diamond tiara that says birthday queen. So we'll get some pictures and maybe next week share them for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Please do.
Yeah, nobody everybody enjoys being a queen, right? Have you ever worn a tiara?
No, but my mother was the queen.
Wait a minute. Let's stop the presses here, Margi Kyle. You never have worn a tiara. You have to think.
I don't ever remember doing
Well,
that.
I think then there's a tiara in your future. I think we need to get one for both of us. I think we need to be presenting community centered with
Isn't
tiaras.
that funny? I was in my dreams last night. I was wearing one all night.
That's a certain kind of synergy happening right there. So, wow, that's wild.
Yes.
Well, I am. Let's see what happens. Normally, on a cold day, I would have been bringing you a cup of tea, and I didn't have time for that today.
That's okay.
So, tea with Margi. We'll have to put that on pause because I thought with 72 degrees the other day, we were headed into spring and seeing some of the daffodils pop up and jonquils and such, but guess it's not going to happen.
Not yet.
Wasn't meant to be.
Nope.
Nope, not happening. So we are rounding the corner on our new builds too. Concrete is poured. Now with this weather, we'll wait on the landscaping.
That's right. Yeah.
But we have two very special things we'll be contributing to our community here shortly. So what else?
Wow, I'm so excited for that family tonight.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too.
I cannot imagine. And I think until you've been there, you have no idea how devastating it is.
She said yesterday when we met her with the 7-month-old, this little guy's life has really been a crisis since he came into this world. And I said, well, has he slept in a crib? And she said, no, he sleeps on me in the car. So tonight he has a crib.
Oh, good.
He has a crib with some.
Now, what else do you need?
We have everything we need for them. Somebody dropped off a stroller yesterday without even knowing. So she's got that. We've got a swing. We've got welcoming arms. They've got a warm meal. What else could she ask for? She'll have peace.
Yeah.
She has been sleeping in her car in a hospital parking lot. So,
gosh. I can't even imagine.
Yeah. For me, that's for as many years as I've done this and as many years as I've heard the stories, getting behind the wheel of my car, I think, how would I fall asleep in here?
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
So for me, it's always a wake-up call and a curiosity when they tell me that they've been sleeping in their car. So that's her. And then by end of week, we'll be bringing another family in who are sleeping in their car in Mooresville up in a parking lot. So it's happening out there, folks. This is what's happening in our community. Our evictions are up nearly 75%. Landlords are requiring 3, 4, 5 times the salary to get into some of these rentals, and folks are being evicted, and it's not good out there. But let's think about the good.
Yep.
That they're going to be in a warm bed tonight and have a nice warm meal. So join us in praying for them, that their journey is awesome and filled with hope. That's what
agree.
we could hope for. So when we come back from break, you're going to be introducing our guest. I can't wait to learn alongside our listeners of the fabulous work that she's doing. She sounds like an amazing individual has contributed immensely to our community. So I look forward to hearing her hope that we'll put in the headlines today with Miss Carrie. So what else?
You've got to bring some of your kids to our storage room.
I do. I've got some new little ones that I think we might have to make a visit. So when we come back from break, we're going to be visiting with Carrie. Margi's going to be introducing her. And don't forget, you can always call 844-STUDIO-4 here on Community Centered. I'm Debbie O'Hanley with my friend Margi Kyle.
Macintosh Law presents Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle. Coming up on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Oh boy, talk about a big change in our weather. Dress warm and grab the rain gear on the way out the door. You'll need it for the next couple of days. Scattered cold rain likely for most of the area. Temperatures only get up to around 40 today, dropping back into the mid-30s overnight. That rain will continue through the day on Wednesday and into early Thursday morning before we finally start to dry it out Thursday afternoon and drying it out just in time for Valentine's Day. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
The WSIC app is available now wherever you get your apps, featuring local deals from great local businesses like Top Notch Gutters of Statesville.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Thursday, February 13th, Lake Norman Woman Magazine is hosting Ladies Night at Bin 110 in Cornelius. The relaxing social evening begins at 6:30 p.m. Feel free to come make new friends, get to know your neighbors in the community, and possibly catch up with pals you have not seen in a while. Bin 110 hosts Ladies Night this Thursday, brought to you by Lake Norman Woman Magazine. The Wine Maestro in Statesville has live music with Captain Dar on Friday. Captain Dar delivers entertainment with a capital E. With his acoustic music sets, it makes a perfect addition to your Valentine's Day plans. The Wine Maestro in Statesville presents live music on Friday night at 7 p.m. Mooresville Arts and Events welcomes you to join them for a date night like no other in the ballrooms of the Charles Mack Citizen Center on Friday and Saturday. Sigmund Theatrical's Murder Mystery Crew is back with Check-In for Murder. The action will unfold around you, with some guests even becoming characters inside of the story. It's a high-class evening of dinner, theater, and mystery. Visit statesvilleevents.com for tickets and information. Enjoy the Valentine's Day special at the Speedway Club at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Come celebrate with that someone special with a 3-course dinner or something off the regular menu. The Speedway Club Valentine's Special runs Thursday, February 13th through Saturday, February 15th. Then on Sunday, you can cheer on your favorite driver during the Great American Race at the Speedway Club Daytona 500 viewing party. Visit 704-455-3216 for Speedway Club reservations or visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for more information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Merlefest 2025, presented by Window World, returns April 24th through the 27th in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear the Avett Brothers, Bonnie Raitt, The Dead South, Watch House, Wyatt Floors, I'm With Her, Leftover Salmon, The Warren Treaty, The Steel Drivers, and many more. For tickets, visit merlefest.org.
Community Centered, proudly presented by Macintosh Law, continues now on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to WSIC News Talk Now. And I do want to thank the Macintosh Law legal firm in Davidson, North Carolina, for the support they've given us over the year. And next week, we will have one of their lawyers as our guest, talking about the importance of writing a will and when should you start and what should you put in it and all that great stuff.
Perfect.
So don't miss that one. I am just very proud today to introduce a friend and a colleague that we've worked together for the past 15 years for my nonprofit Little Smiles. I went to see Carrie Keuten, who was the event coordinator at Levine Children's Hospital 15 years ago. And I said, I want to bring pizzas. I want to bring toys. I want to do whatever you want for those kids. And she didn't believe me. So we arrived with 20 pizzas. I don't know how many toys. And we just walked up and down the halls handing out pizza and toys. And I'll never forget, one father came out and he said, would it be all right if I had a piece? I haven't eaten for days. And I thought, that just blew my mind. So we had about 10 pizzas left. And I said to Carrie, put them in the freezer. Give them to the families. Mm-hmm. I don't care who wants it. So we've worked together. Little Smiles works with the nurses for whatever those kids need, we provide. Mm-hmm. And we've had some wonderful requests over the years. But also, Carrie is the executive director for Camp Care, and that is in Lake Lure. I hope it's still there.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Okay. And I'm going to let you tell us more about Camp Care, their mission, and where they are today. Welcome, Carrie Keuten.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Just listening to you both just makes me excited for what you all do. And then for what I do as well with just an amazing organization. Camp Care, and CARE stands for Cancer Ain't Really the End. And it's just a wonderful organization. And we are celebrating 40 years this year.
Oh, so, my gosh.
Yes, we're extremely excited because it was founded in 1985 by a group of doctors, nurses, child life specialists that they realized these kids were in the hospital so long then when kids were going through cancer treatment. They said, we need to do something for these kids. And it started out as a day camp. and had to leave the mamas and daddies behind.
Mm.
And they started it, and they realized the need was there.
Mm-hmm.
And after 2 years, it grew into a full-time week-long camp. So we take
And you're all
these-
volunteers, aren't you?
Yes, we have a couple of administrative people that handle things for us. That it's a full-time job.
Yeah.
So, but we take these kids to the mountains, to Lake Lure, where we all know has been devastated this year. And I'll just say it right now: we are going.
Good.
We won't be on the lake. That'll be the only thing.
Okay.
Yeah. There's too much work yet to be done up there, but we will fill their time with so many things. But we do the week-long camp. The kids come to us on Monday. We pick them up in Charlotte on a bus, and they're excited. They're nervous. They're crying. The mamas are crying, which you talk about crying.
Yes.
It can get me going as well. And I've been doing it for 25 years, and it never gets old. But that means our hearts are still there,
Right.
like you say.
Yeah.
But we bring them up. We start the day with, they go to lunch. They're having music. They go to crafts. They can swim. We do things that just to try and build their self-esteem.
Yeah.
But we also do something unique is they're allowed to bring a sibling. When cancer hits a family,
It hits the
the
family.
whole family. And these poor siblings, sometimes, they get shuffled around to relatives, friends, while the parents are at the hospital. It's difficult on the whole family. So they can bring a sibling. Sometimes the siblings have to fight over whose turn it is this year to go. We hear that quite a bit, and they'll say, will you decide for them? I'm like, nope, I won't get involved in that at all. But we do everything. We bring in professional musicians. He comes from Texas, actually. Both of them do. We bring in events. I can honestly say Little Smiles has been such a big supporter. They have done everything. They'll bring up our snacks for our dances, for our movie night, for casino night. Kids love casino night. They think they're really getting away with something.
I loved the night that Woody Washam, my husband, and Michael Jackson did karaoke with the teenagers.
They sure did.
And they had a blast.
I would have paid money to be there.
I'll have to
That could be a
send you
fundraiser.
pictures.
You could have that as a fundraiser.
It would be a good
Oh,
one.
it was fun.
It was
wonderful.
And Lee was actually quite hesitant to come up to camp. And when he finally did, I didn't think we were going to get him to go home that night.
I wish I'd brought the picture of, you told him to go run into that one cabin. You smelled something funny. And Lee was an OSHA trainer, excuse me. It was, the gals had a nail salon in there. So they grabbed him, took his shoes off and socks, painted his toes and his fingers.
And he let him.
Oh, yeah. Well, one little gal couldn't paint fast enough, so she took the whole bottle and poured it all over his finger.
We have fun.
Sweet.
They just have such a wonderful time. And for us staff, to see them thriving, to see them not even thinking about cancer.
That's right.
When people come to visit, they'll say, well, what kids have cancer? And I'll say, which one do you think? And they'll say, I don't know. And I said, that's what we're trying to do here.
They look so happy and healthy.
They're
That's
happy. I mean,
amazing.
sometimes we'll have their little bald heads, and we will do everything we can to get these kids up to camp. We'll work with the clinics to make sure these kids they have even rearranged treatment schedules in order for these kids to go to camp. And so it's an amazing week. And then we have events throughout the year. We do, we call them Camp Connections, and we do laser tag and bowling and corn maze. So it's a lot of fun, but it's a time for the whole family when we do the extra events, for the whole family to come together and really enjoy some time and just to enjoy it with people like them.
Yeah.
Whether they're still in treatment, whether they've been off treatment for 10 years, they all have something to talk about, and they all have stories to share. And their stories are absolutely beautiful. Some can be heart-wrenching because the outcomes aren't always good. Sometimes when we've lost a camper, we still invite the families to come. We're still a support to them in that way. And again, celebrating this year our 40th, we've been working on some bang-up stuff to happen this year. So
How does a family qualify?
So they have to be treated at either Atrium Health Levine's or at Novant St. Jude. And then the doctors, the nurses, child life specialists will recommend them. They'll introduce them to us, and then we get them registered. They come to camp free of charge. Absolutely no cost.
What
to
is the
the
cost?
family.
Is it about $500 per
No,
child?
it's really gone up a lot.
Because I saw that on the website and thought that's very reasonable.
It's about $800. Because we have to pay room and board and food.
That's still
and
very reasonable.
It really, in comparison to summer camps right now, it really is.
If
But
somebody out there wants to sponsor a child, how would they do that?
they are welcome to go to our website, www.campcare.org. My name is out there. They can email me. There's ways to donate on there, or just call us, talk to us about it. We would love to have any support that the community would like to give.
Yeah.
These kids deserve to be kids. Plain and simple.
Remember the second year we went, we made capes.
Oh, that's
Do you remember
right.
that?
Yes.
Because all the kids were heroes.
Yep.
Is there anything besides funding that you need? So if someone's listening and they said, well, gosh, you know what? I've got a lot of fabric. You can make capes that I would like to donate. Are there things in particular you're looking for?
We usually have an Amazon wish list.
Okay.
Because it's, believe it or not, to put on a week of camp, you don't think of all the things. Sometimes we'll need to purchase sleeping bags or sheets or pillows or whatever that the kids may need. I've even got and have bought kids clothes because mom says, they just have what they have left for school, and school starts right after camp, and they don't want theirs, because goodness knows the clothes can get ruined because we have messy night and things like that. But so, there is a myriad of things that we always need, from sunscreen, you name it. Little Smiles has sponsored the Silent Connections, and that's the silent disco. Y'all see people with headphones on that are dancing, and then you see all their ears are lighting up, either red, green, or blue, and then they're all switching to stations so that they're on the same station as their friends. But so it's programming up there as well. So there's many things.
And I'm just making the assumption that you probably have a full medical staff up there too, right?
Yes.
Because if these are children that have some, medical issues,
Absolutely.
you would need that accessibility for them, right?
We are staffed with a doctor, several nurses. Most of them are oncology nurses. We have a lot of nurses that actually work at the hospitals, and they come to be counselors because that way they get to know the kids in a different way.
That's right.
They know them as their nurses, but they want to know them in a fun way too.
Sure.
And these kids just look up to them.
I'm sure.
They, when they see their doctor come and they see him doing the limbo, they're like, wait a second, I don't think he'd ever do that in the hospital.
Yeah.
So just to see those things happen, and so much fun organically happens for them too. But to see them look out for each other.
Yeah.
The warmth, the
I think
love,
Carrie
the
one year
hugs.
said, would you come and be a counselor? I said, I can't sleep on that cot. I couldn't get out of it.
How amazing is that these kids for a week of their life get to be air quote normal.
That's right.
Like
That's
any
right.
other child in their community, and talk about a camp experience. So when we come back, we're visiting with Carrie and Margie and Debbie, and we will take your calls at 844-STUDIO-4 should you have any questions about camp care.
Yep.
Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law, a staple in our community since 1997. We'll return on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Oh boy, talk about a big change in our weather. Dress warm and grab the rain gear on the way out the door. You'll need it for the next couple of days. Scattered cold rain, likely for most of the area. Temperatures only get up to around 40 today, dropping back into the mid-30s overnight. That rain will continue through the day on Wednesday and into early Thursday morning before we finally start to dry it out Thursday afternoon and drying it out just in time for Valentine's Day. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
Are you in constant pain, under constant stress, just need a moment away? Repeat after me. Serenity Now Massage Therapy. SerenityNowMassageandWellness.com with locations in Mooresville and Cornelius.
You're in specials, Randy, Marion, Chevrolet, and Statesville. How about this for a bargain? 2024 Chevrolet Equinoxes. These are the LT models as low as $22,770. We have got over 25 of these vehicles in stock. You pick the color, drive it home today. That is a Randy, Marion, Chevrolet Statesville special. Again, $22,770. $22,770. Only a couple thousand miles on these vehicles. Come see them today. Randy, Marion, Chevrolet, and Statesville.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshlawfirm.com.
It ain't easy being number one, but we make it look good.
WSIC.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Americans' love affair with packaged foods appears to be waning. Kellogg posted profit that beat Wall Street's expectations, but the company behind Frosted Flakes, Raisin Bran, Pringles, and Pop-Tarts says it's seeing consumers pull back on name brand items, and health-conscious shoppers are opting for more fresh foods, not cereal. Coca-Cola has a solid outlook after posting fourth quarter earnings that beat expectations. The company says it helped that it raised prices by 9% in the last quarter. There are signs consumers are reaching for healthier options, with sales of Coke Zero Sugar up 13%. Its Fairlife milk also performed well. As for the impact tariffs could have on its business, Coke says it will likely shift to using more plastic bottles instead of aluminum cans. Markets are mixed. The Dow is up a tenth, the S&P down a fraction, the NASDAQ is down 0.3. I'm Nancy Lyons, Bloomberg Radio.
24/7 worldwide, non-stop.
WSIC.
Local starts here. Community Centered, presented by McIntosh Law, a staple in our community since 1997, returns now on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back, listeners. You're listening to Community Centered, and our guest is Carrie Keuten. Carrie, I was going to ask in that first segment, how did you and Margi meet?
Well,
she has her version. Let's hear yours.
I was working at the hospital. I had somebody tell me, this lady is going to call you. Her name is Margi. And I said, okay. And she's heading up an organization that she thinks you'll like. I said, all right. We talked a few times on the phone. And she's telling me that, I'll do things for your patients that nobody else is going to be able to do. If they need an iPad, I'm going to bring them an iPad. If they need Legos, I'll bring them Legos. We'll do pizza parties. We'll do a McDonald's run. We'll do a junk food run. And I'm thinking, who is this woman that she can just do these things because nobody else really can? So we set up an appointment, and I'm waiting for her in our lobby. Didn't even need to see her, hear her, and I knew it was Margi because Margi comes in with her glamorous self, yes. And I'm thinking, okay, is she going to do this all by herself? What's going on here? And I was still a little skeptical.
Yeah.
By the end of our meeting, I'm like, we need little smiles at this hospital.
Mhm.
And like you said, we've been going on for 15 years.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have put some bizarre requests out there to her over the years. And really, I think they only ever had to tell me no twice. And I knew the answer going in, but I knew I had
You
to
had to
try.
ask, right.
I had to ask. And we're just so fortunate to have them in our community.
I'm sure.
The hospitals, anybody that they touch, it says little smiles, but it's not little.
Should
They're-
always be big smiles.
I know.
Well, and
I
I'll never
know.
forget the gal. You called me and said, I've got a gal that is living here with a family from Germany.
Oh, yes.
You remember that? And she was in a
Yes.
car accident.
Yeah.
She had been in a wheelchair all year.
Mm-hmm.
Could I come and talk to her? Because my cousin was in an accident. My son was in an accident. They both broke their necks and were paralyzed. So I went with a bucket of flowers. That's all she wanted.
You
And
had more than that.
well, I did. You can't just go with that. And as I was telling her my story of my car accidents when I was 16, her feet were moving like you have never seen anything.
Wow.
And I said to her, you are going to walk again. She said, well, how do you know? I said, I've been watching your feet. You're just dancing over there. She sent me a video 2 days later when she got back home in Germany, walking and getting in out of her wheelchair.
Wow. Amazing.
Why do we do things like this? That was payment that I could never, ever, ever be paid anything better than that.
You know, when you were talking before, Carrie, I was thinking about, how I led off with the family that's coming and the heartstrings that tugs on it. But how do we find ways? People always say to me, you should write a book. But how do you put into words sometimes the stories that are really magical? When you watch the transformation of a child that's going through probably the most traumatic thing
That's
that
right.
will ever happen, and then they're in an environment where they can dance and sing and be normal for a short amount of time. How do we tell those stories? And Margie, when you tell the stories of things like that, like people want to hear the good news of what it is that we do, but sometimes it's so hard to tell that amazing heartfelt feeling that we feel knowing that our real love bleeds, right? We're in
Sure
the week of Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
and so we know that what that feels like, but it's sometimes hard to put into words when we see the magic.
It's so true.
Because it is magic.
It is.
It is
It is
magic.
magic. It's also a blessing from above.
Right?
I firmly believe that. I have said, and I started about 15 years ago saying I should have started writing all these stories down. And there are some I have written down, and I go back to read them, and you just read them, and they're not what they were because they are magical. And when you're going through it at the time with somebody, you realize that. And to retell that story, you can tell it 100 times, and it's not going to have the same impact. I say that about people coming to camp, from our donors to our medical staff. I say, you just come one time. You got to experience
That's
it
right.
yourself.
That's right.
And once you've experienced it, you know what I'm talking about because it's a feeling. It's more than an experience. It's what you're feeling at the time, and making these kids happy, or seeing a mom crying because her kid's getting on a bus for the very first time,
That's
has
right.
never been to camp before.
Well,
Just-
and I love what we've done with the wedding dresses.
Yeah, we've the dresses, the prom dresses. We do
gosh.
a dance, and we do let the girls and boys have a makeover if they want to.
Well, I'm talking
to get
about
ready for the dance.
angel blankets.
Oh, okay. So that's at the hospital.
Yeah.
Yes. Making angel gowns for babies. Yes, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful.
You
Yeah,
know, and somebody said, I was never going to do anything else with this wedding dress. What a beautiful way to
yeah. So
to give it
true.
away.
Yeah.
That is such a lovely idea. And I was just thinking of Lydia's Loft that we have here in Huntersville has a prom closet. And so sometimes when we have events or something for the ladies at Hope House, we get to go there and pick out these like 4 rooms full of beautiful gowns
that's
that you should
beautiful.
partner with them because they're a little bit mobile and they can bring some things up to you.
Oh,
So
I have to check them out.
I think that would be super fun because I know for me that's part of the transformation story too, right? To get to play dress up and do the things that you wouldn't normally do, right? So to have those opportunities.
If you've seen some pictures of me, I've been everything from the Wicked Witch of the West to Toy Story. Last year I was kind of Ursula from Frozen. It was not Frozen, from Little Mermaid.
Nice.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And I always say, and the funny thing is, I didn't like dressing up as a child. But the first time I went to camp and I saw everybody dressing up and the kids were loving it, and I'm like, oh, I can dress up for those kids.
That's that infectious magic thing,
It
right?
is.
That you
It
get
truly is.
And Lee getting his toes and nails
Oh
done,
my
right?
God.
Now you created a manicure style.
Absolutely. And the kids just think it's
And
a
so
hoot.
did our assistant. He got his nails done.
Yep. Walking around.
He kept saying, "Are you sure you can get this off of me?"
Oh, bless. That's so awesome. Well, I think what you're doing is incredible.
It is.
Tell me about the work you did in the hospital when you were there.
So I was the event coordinator, and I'd like to say it was anything fun for the patients and families. I worked with the community, bringing in programming into the hospital. Little Smiles, for example, pizza night, movie night. We did so many things, and I'm happy to see it grow. When I first came on, they said, okay, this is what you have. You have a calendar, and you got to fill it. And you have this closet filled with toys, and now you have this big old hospital, and we have to make sure there's enough for everybody. And we moved in at the beginning of December, and I went home and told my husband, I said, we're going to be buying lots of toys, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. But the community, once they knew the hospital was there, it started to grow.
Yeah.
And I love the Ryan Seacrest studio there.
Yep, that's amazing.
Oh,
that's amazing.
yeah.
It really, that gives the kids an outlet again.
It does.
You know, an outlet from their everyday rigors of the hospital. And again, these kids, you know, they're not feeling good about themselves, and you want them to. So we'll do whatever we have to over
Did
there.
you have particular challenges during COVID when, probably couldn't plan events and do things like that?
Absolutely.
Must have been really difficult.
It was very difficult. For camp, it was, we had our theme, and it was going to be Harry Potter. I had never read a Harry Potter book. So starting in January, I read every Harry Potter book from January to February so that I would be ready for this theme. It was a lot of reading.
Yeah.
And I already knew what things were going to happen, who was going to be what, and then COVID hit. And then we had to pivot. We pivoted to, like everyone else, doing Zoom things, and we actually did a virtual camp. And it's funny you mentioned that because I'm working on our yearbook right now, and I was looking at old yearbooks. I'm like, virtual camp. And we blamed it on Mortimer, and anybody that's a Harry Potter, they know who I'm talking about. And it's like, yep, we'll blame it on him. So, but we pivoted.
But you still did it.
We
You
made it
pulled
work.
off.
We sure did.
Yeah.
We sure did.
That's amazing. I'm looking back on that. What a time.
I know.
It was crazy. It truly was. But thank you for persevering and getting through because you are an essential worker.
Every day. I was at that hospital.
Absolutely. We are getting ready to go to break. When we come back from break, we are visiting with Carrie Keuten from Camp Care, and we're going to get a little bit more contact information so people can reach out to you when we come back from Community Center.
Community Centered, presented by Macintosh Law with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, will return after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Oh boy, talk about a big change in our weather. Dress warm and grab the rain gear on the way out the door. You'll need it for the next couple of days. Scattered cold rain likely for most of the area. Temperatures only get up to around 40 today, dropping back into the mid-30s overnight. That rain will continue through the day on Wednesday and into early Thursday morning before we finally start to dry it out Thursday afternoon. And drying it out just in time for Valentine's Day. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Thursday, February 13th, Lake Norman Woman Magazine is hosting Ladies' Night at Bin 110 in Cornelius. The relaxing social evening begins at 6:30 p.m. Feel free to come make new friends, get to know your neighbors in the community, and possibly catch up with pals you have not seen in a while. Bin 110 hosts Ladies' Night this Thursday, brought to you by Lake Norman Woman Magazine. The Wine Maestro in Statesville has live music with Captain Dar on Friday. Captain Dar delivers entertainment with a capital E. With his acoustic music sets, it makes a perfect addition to your Valentine's Day plans. The Wine Maestro in Statesville presents live music on Friday night at 7 p.m. Mooresville Arts and Events welcomes you to join them for a date night like no other in the ballrooms of the Charles Mack Citizen Center on Friday and Saturday. Sigmund Theatrical's Murder Mystery Crew is back with Check-In for Murder. The action will unfold around you, with some guests even becoming characters inside of the story. It's a high-class evening of dinner, theater, and mystery. Visit statesvilleevents.com for tickets and information. Enjoy the Valentine's Day special at the Speedway Club at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Come celebrate with that someone special with a 3-course dinner or something off the regular menu. The Speedway Club Valentine's Special runs Thursday, February 13th through Saturday, February 15th. Then on Sunday, you can cheer on your favorite driver during the Great American Race at the Speedway Club Daytona 500 viewing party. Visit 704-455-3216 for Speedway Club reservations or visit charlottemotorspeedway.com for more information. To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
MerleFest 2025, presented by Window World, returns April 24th through the 27th in Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Hear the Avett Brothers, Bonnie Raitt, The Dead South, Watch House, Wyatt Flores, I'm With Her, Leftover Salmon, The Warren Treaty, The Steel Drivers, and many more. For tickets, visit merlefest.org.
Call now to speak with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle at 844-STUDIO-4. It's community-centered on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back. We are having a wonderful time talking about Camp Care with Carrie Keuten. And Carrie, again, how can they get hold of you? What are your needs? And how can they volunteer?
Absolutely. You can find us on the social media handles, Facebook and Instagram. Just look up Camp Care and you'll find us. Our website again is www.campcare.org. We have information out there. My contact information is out there as well. You're welcome to email me. You're welcome to call me. I love to talk to people about camp. Sometimes I don't know when to stop.
Do you want to share a phone number?
It's on the website.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's on the website.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, you sent me some pictures last night.
Yes.
And maybe, Reese, if you can pull some of them up. Can you see them, Carrie? Okay. So, again,
I'm trying to remember what I sent you.
You sent the picture of you with I think the big mic down in the garage.
Oh, the megaphone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then all the kids sitting on the lawn.
Yes.
And then it says care.
Yes.
And then there was one other one you sent me too.
Yes, the megaphone is from the day we pick up the kids.
You need a megaphone, I'm sure.
You do. We're usually in a parking deck when that's happening.
How many
to get
children
the kids.
get to go?
Well, we had 85 this past year. We used to have 165.
I thought 200, yeah.
Yeah, then COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then the date of our camp, we do rent a camp. So they've given us the first week or two in August, and it makes it really difficult with a lot of schools heading back early. But their care teams really feel camp is so beneficial for these kids. They'll work with the families and the schools to try and make sure that they get to go to camp.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Is it still up at Lake Lure?
Yes.
But they just are not going to go to the lake.
Correct.
This
Our
year.
camp is on the lake. We sit above the lake.
Right.
And, from what I'm hearing, I don't know, maybe things could change by August, but as of right now, we're not planning lake activities.
Okay.
because
There's a lot of cleanup yet to
Well, you've
do.
got
Yes,
a pool
yes,
there, and
yes.
you've got tons of stuff to do.
So much to do. So much to do. Yeah, yeah.
Well, the
So,
one I remember so well was the celebration of life of some of the kids that had passed, and you had drummers there,
mhm.
and 200 kids went down to drum after the celebration.
It was pretty
How they
amazing.
got them all to do what they did, I don't know.
Yeah,
But it was just the most amazing event I've experienced. And
it was remarkable.
there were 3 kids that were sitting there crying, having a tough time. And I went over and sat with them and I said, let's walk down slowly. And one of them finally said, would you like to dance with me to another gal? And I said, if you don't, I will. And so they went off dancing and I went and drummed with the other guy. And then finally they all came together again. But
Yeah, we do celebrate any of our friends that have passed away.
Yeah.
Anybody that's part of the Camp Care family, we celebrate them. It's an important part of it. And believe it or not, the kids on their surveys will say that's one of their favorite things to come
Yeah.
together. They are so close at that time.
and you used to release doves, and that was spectacular.
That's another story altogether. We did do that, and it was a lot of fun. And it took 2 months for those pigeons, homing whatever they were, doves, to get back home to where they belonged. But I said that was our friends looking down on us.
That's right.
Guiding them
Yeah.
home. So
But the kids loved that.
they did. They did. It was
That's
a lot
amazing.
Yeah.
Do you get many corporate sponsorships or people?
Oh, we do have some.
Wonderful.
We do have some. That's one of the things I'm trying to focus on, since I'm not working my other job full time, and working on that a little bit more. So we're able to grow our programming and be ready too for when our numbers do go back up.
Mm-hmm.
When you go from 150 plus kids down to 85,
Yeah.
it looks a little bit different. The first year after COVID, it was like, where's all the noise? It was it was a little crazy because there weren't as many kids, understandably.
Sure.
But the kids needed it. Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
they were.
But if you watch the counselors up there,
Yeah,
they have more darn fun as much as the kids do.
I
they
bet.
do.
They do.
I bet.
They do.
They get on
do.
stage and they dance and they sing.
Oh,
and
they get out of their comfort level.
Yeah.
That's one of
Do
the
you
first things.
Do you ever have any children that become healthy again that come back to be a counselor? or-
Absolutely.
Oh, how
Yeah.
cool is
Yeah.
that?
Absolutely. A lot of our board, a lot of our counselors and staff, they were former campers or they were siblings
Yes.
of campers. And the child with cancer, we call them the campers, and then the siblings. We don't want to say patients at
Right.
Camp.
Yeah.
So
Good for you.
yes, we do have many, and parents
I'm
will
sure.
try and get involved, especially when it's appropriate. We don't let parents come to camp though during the week because
No
that's
parents allowed.
no parents allowed. That's their break.
Yeah.
That's their break. So,
Wow. I
yeah.
bet they sleep.
Well, both have earned it.
Yes, they
Yeah,
sure have.
that's
they
right.
Sure have.
Absolutely. Every time we do this, Margie, and we meet the amazing people of
I
our
know.
community, I'm always, well, first off, I'm stunned that I didn't really know that there was that going on. So I'm so excited to learn about what you're doing and putting hope back out there in our headlines. But I just want to applaud you for the amazing work that you do. How many lives have you touched of these little people that have had a magical experience because of the tireless work that you do and what you do, Margie, as well. So thank you both for what you've done for them. And I hope that someone is listening today and was inspired hearing your story and wants to find a way that they can give back or
I hope
reach
so,
out
too.
or contribute because, that is so important. And especially now in our community where the loud is very loud
Yes.
and the negative is very loud. We need to find ways to turn this ship around and to get back to doing things that make us feel good and
Yep.
feel better about ourselves and reaching out to someone such as yourself, Carrie, that can do the work that you do. It's a big job. It's a heavy load. And I think that you would probably value someone that could reach out to you and share some of
Absolutely.
that. And I think that, like Margie and I always say, right? You're feeling bad, reach out to somebody to
That's
do
right.
something good. And that's what we try to do here at Community Centered is give folks an opportunity to be heard and to listen to ways that they can give back in their community. So I'm just thinking of smiling campers and what that must.
Oh, they're so
I
happy.
can smell Fritos and cheese. I mean,
we have lots of that, thanks to
and
Little
sunscreen
Smiles.
and all that kind of stuff. I can just smell it on. I'm thinking, what a blessing for these kids to have that experience.
They give back so much more.
Well, it's just the most joyful experience you can experience. It really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Well, sometimes we get some very large volunteer groups or people that really don't quite fit at Hope House for, our needs, but we could always send them over to your way to say,
Absolutely.
here's an organization where you might, reach out. Sometimes, younger kids like the Key Club or something, they're looking in the high school or looking for a project. So we'll send them your way so that they
That would be wonderful. I'll involve them in our 5K. We always need volunteers for that.
Even,
Tell us
the
about that.
littlest thing I think we ever did was get some rocks where they could paint that rock.
Yep.
And hold it during that celebration of life service.
Oh, that's so nice. Tell us about your fundraising.
So we have a golf tournament coming up on May 30th, and that is out at Carolina Lakes. And we also have a 5K September 13th. The website should go live pretty soon on that one. We're very excited because we're also celebrating our 40th year in conjunction with the 5K. But our 5K is called the PJ St. Martin Zach Dobbin Memorial Run. And PJ was an amazing camper. He went to camp for 1 year, and he found out there were kids on the wait list that didn't get to go. And PJ said, we needed to do something about that, and told his parents, let's do a walk. Let's do a Camp Care walk. And it started to grow. Unfortunately, he did not make it to camp again, but there was money. There was money for more kids to go. And so we still honor his legacy as well as Zach.
How beautiful.
Yes.
Is Camp Care only in the Lake Lure area? Is it something that you would find
We're Charlotte-based.
Yeah.
We serve the kids from the two major hospitals and Brenner's now, too. So if they're treated there, we invite them to camp.
Lovely.
And you do have at Christmas time a party for the
We
campers.
sure do. We have a wonderful holiday party
I remember
for them.
that.
Let the kids come and have fun. We'll do crafts. We have dancing. We just have a wonderful
Sprayed
time.
some snow. I remember that.
We celebrate birthdays once a month at Hope House. So last night was birthday night. We had a balloon artist, so I think we could share him. He was fabulous.
Oh, I bet.
My one little 5-year-old guy was sitting on the couch watching him, and he said, I want to be you when I grow up. So, I mean, he really impacted those kids. He made a bow and arrow out of balloons. He made some really incredible things. So I'll have to hook you up.
Please do,
He runs a nonprofit as well. So I think that would be a really cool thing to have.
That would
fun.
be.
Yeah.
And isn't it amazing how nonprofits support other nonprofits?
That's right.
We're all out there competing for the same donor dollars, but goodness
we get
knows.
it, though.
Yeah.
We get it.
And we'll help each other in that way. And that's what makes, so much sense.
That's kind of our goal, is putting unity back into our community.
That's right.
Absolutely. Just love it.
We have loved listening to your story and feel very blessed by being here today in this lousy, rainy day. We put some light and brightness here in our little studio. Thank you for visiting with us and coming, and I wish you a wonderful, successful camp season.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an honest to goodness pleasure. It really has. I've enjoyed talking to you both.
We'll have to have you back after camp season. We will have you back here on Community Center.
Okay.
You can hear that.
Thank
and
you.
next week we have Louise Pagan with the McIntosh Law Firm talking about wills and trusts, I hope.
Yep.
So explaining the difference. So have a great week, everybody. We will see you back here next Tuesday on Community Centered.
Serving you better than ever before. WSIC, Statesville, W290DK Mooresville, W260